Really gross out today, and I'm not a fan. It was raining a few minutes ago, and I had plans to bring the little dude out with me to work on the garden beds, but I really don't want to bring him out when it's kind of cold and rainy. I mean, I could set up a big tent for him, but that's a lot of work. It's hard to set up a 10-foot tent all by yourself. I'm not that good because 10-foot tent's like 8 feet high, 10 by 10, and I'm 5 feet high. So instead, I waited for him to go down for a nap, and he's still kind of fussing a little bit, but I know he's tired. So I'm going to give him a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to head on outside and bring you with me. So this is the first raised bed that is completely together. I've got some landscape cloth in there loosely. It's stapled under here with the wood on top. And then I'll fill it with a whole bunch of stuff. I've got to put landscape cloth in that one, and that one. Hopefully I have enough. I think I do. I bought the big roll. And then the lattice is going to go up and connect this bed to that bed on the back side here. And that'll be where I grow things that grow in vines, like the cucumbers and maybe some peas. And hopefully it'll come together pretty well, but I'm going to see how much I can get done while little dude naps. Of course, it started raining again as soon as I started putting the landscape cloth inside the raised beds. Real quick before I finish up, I've got one bed left, but I just did the longer 6-foot bed and had a learning moment. Figured I'd share it with you because not everyone's born knowing how to do everything, especially me. So with the longer bed, I'm trying to save the landscape fabric and use as little as possible, but still get enough coverage. We're using pressure-treated lumber for the raised beds, so I wanted a barrier between the lumber and the dirt. So that's why I'm completely lining them with this landscape cloth. I know it's not the best barrier, but it's enough for me. So I started off by lining it from one side to the other, and I did a piece here and I did a piece here, but I needed to cover the end pieces. So I stapled on a piece, and it does fold down, it does flop around. Excuse me, horrible at this. But the dirt will hold it in place, so I'm not super worried about it. But I have another bed the same exact dimensions to do. So next time, here's the learning moment. Instead of doing the long sides first and covering the bottom, I'm going to put these end pieces on, and then I'll put these on so that the end pieces don't flap around so much. Little learning moment. That little project went a little bit faster than I thought it would, which I'm happy about. I even just got mauled by a dog. I even took a break to check on the meat birds that we recently moved outside to the goose house that I've kind of started calling the brooder house. But let's take a look. So they're not perfect, and I hate leveling things, so I'm not even going to bother leveling these. But I got the long pieces on the 6-foot beds. I still need some more wood to finish the 4-foot bed. This 4-foot bed is good to go, and I got the long pieces on this 6-foot bed, and I still need to cut that because we changed plans on how we were going to put the wood on. Originally, this piece and this piece were further apart, and that fit perfectly. But I made a little bit of a change. And so this is my new raised beds and my very old dog. Still some work to do as far as assembling goes, and then I need to bring some compost from old bedding from 2 years ago up the hill. I need to find some decaying logs, and there's some leaves around the barn back there that I want to bring up and also use for filler in here. It should help compost and feed the soil. And then I also have to bring the loam that we just had delivered this morning down, top it off with the loam. And Bill today, the Bee and B&S Farm, was reading something about how the water from our duck pond will be great for composting and growing things. So I think we're going to give that a shot this year. Little dude is still asleep. It's still kind of misting out. It's still kind of chilly. I got a little bit warmer by doing stuff, but it's a crappy day. I really don't want to be outside, but there's a lot of stuff I want to do because I'm excited about spring. So I'm out here anyway, because that's how life goes when you decide to start a farm. We got our meat chickens in here. I do have them with a heat lamp for now. They're doing pretty good. They do run around. It's just a little chilly today, so they're all kind of hanging out by the door where the heat lamp is. Their food is back there. I just topped that off, but I think I got to do it again. And they also have a big thing of water. And once I finished the lower raised beds, I started a new raised bed in front of my chicken coop because I'm trying to make the yard pretty. That's my new thing this year, is I'm trying to make everything pretty. So I started a new bed. Like I said, I hate leveling ground, but that's my biggest issue with this new bed right now, is I need to level it. It doesn't look like anything special right now, but once I get it leveled and actually assembled, because right now it's just sitting there, nothing's attached to anything, get the dirt in and get things growing, I think it'll look pretty cute. I'm going to put some tall growing sunflowers and then something shorter in front of them. I think that'll be a nice little spot. And we did have 10 yards of screened loam delivered today, which I am very excited about, but I'm not so excited about having to move it all. That's the part that I hate about getting dirt, compost, whatever, is having to actually move it to where I need it. But I'll get it done. That's my big pile of dirt. I was very excited when the guy showed up. I even made a little arrow to show him where to dump last night, so that when they got here, if I couldn't get outside because I was with the little dude, they knew where to go. I get to move all that dirt into the various gardens and also around the duck pond, because we expanded their yard and built a second retaining wall that needs to get filled in. And if there's any dirt left over, which there may or may not be, I still have my front yard beds that I made last year that I'm still very proud of and very excited to grow things in. I think I'm going to just do like herbs in the front yard this year. Maybe tomatoes, but I think I'm going to stick with the herbs. So my front yard beds don't look so great right now, but my thyme and my chives did come back from last year. My porch definitely needs to be painted. My Jeep is in the front yard because I moved it so that the guy could dump the dirt. But if there's any dirt left, I'll add it to this. I can't till too close to the stuff that came back from last year, but I think I can mix it in a little bit, freshen up the stuff that's in here, and get things growing. Yesterday I also prepped some seed trays. I haven't put the seeds in them yet, but I think that's something I'll do today. Everything's all ready. This year I am trying, it's peat moss or peat dirt, whatever, and they're little pucks, and you put them in the water and they expand, and then you put the seeds in them. But the trays that I bought to put them in are a little bit too small for them, so I ended up having to let them expand and then take the nylon type casing off of them and then stuff the dirt in all the little seed tray things. And then I'll put the seeds in and hopefully get some things started. I do have plans for 2 more gardens, but those might not happen this year, which is fine. It gives me something to do next spring, along with all the other stuff that I usually do. But those are going to go back here. There's going to be a big, huge one next to the coop, and then one along this fence. So those are a little bit bigger projects, and I'm going to use some yard waste from the front yard to kind of prep that bed. So that's probably going to be a next year thing. Are you being a supervisor? Yeah, are you a good supervisor? You're the best supervisor. Look at that pretty puppy. Yes, you too. Yes, we got lots of pretty puppies. I don't know what's going on with that one. So between the gardens and the barn, we've got quite a bit going on this spring. The barn's going to be a more long-term ongoing project than the gardens will. Those are pretty straightforward. The barn's a lot of work and a lot of time and money. Unfortunately, the cost of lumber has increased a lot. If you are unaware of that, welcome to 2021. But I feel like we'll be able to get it all done. Nothing's going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process, but we're doing it. We are making the things we want to make and creating the things we want to create and raising animals and hopefully growing food. I do have a bit of a black thumb, so I do expect a lot of my plants to die. But we're trying, and we're moving forward, and we're doing what we can. And my projects go a little bit slower these days because we do have a little dude in the house now, and a lot of my previous free time is now dedicated to making sure the little one is happy, healthy, fed, and clean. But I figure it out. It's not easy. I don't regret it. it's fun, especially when it's nice out and I can bring him outside with me. He loves helping with everything. He can't walk, he's too young for that, but he still loves going around the property and visiting the barn and helping with the gardens and the animals. Oh, he loves the animals. He'll sit and watch the ducks and the geese. He has once or twice called the goats doggy. He's close, but not quite. So a lot of what I'm doing is during nap time right now, or late at night, like when I clean the brooders that we have in the house in the basement. That's usually after he's gone to bed, and then I gotta dump the dirt or the old bedding in the dark, and hope I don't fall in a hole. Last time I fell in a hole, I broke my foot. So things are slowly coming together. We've got the brooder with the meat chickens. That little pond will be moved. The brooder is actually going to be moved too once those meat birds are all said and done and processed. We've got the raised beds that are in progress. And we've got the barn down below. We've got the barn road that will probably be done hopefully this year, but maybe next year. We also have the extra gardens out front that we haven't started yet. And once the barn's done, we'll ramp up the goat herd and get a few new babies. Maybe breed Juke, our oldest, well, our only doe right now, but if we get new ones, she'll be the oldest. We got a lot going on, and definitely never a dull day here. We can't say we're bored. There's always something to do, always something going on. I don't get time to sit much. I'm a couple weeks behind on the asshole of the week for the farm. I apologize for that. I'm also, along with raising a kid and building a farm, I'm also in nursing school. That takes up a decent amount of time. And I still have a house to take care of too. So we got a full plate. And Bill works full time off farm. So the barn isn't like a priority at this point. We work on it when we can. Same with everything else, especially if it's a two-person project and I need him, then it's usually a weekend thing. But I do what I can when I can. He does what he can when he can. And we have the cutest little supervisor who absolutely loves playing outside and being outside and cries when we have to go back inside. But yeah, so welcome to BNS Farm if you're new. That's everything that's going on right now.